Flux by Ron Goulart. Flux is one of 17 books Goulart wrote which take place in the Barnum system. If you realize that this galactic system is named after P.T. Barnum, the over-the-top sensational showman of the 19th century, you'll have some insight into Goulart's sensibilities and style of world building. I find myself wondering how many of today's casual readers would get the numerous showbiz in-jokes in Ron Goulart's novels, so I'll provide some background. Ron was born, raised, and educated in Berkeley, California. His father was a factory worker and his mom was a homemaker. Ron loved movies, pulp magazines, comics, carnivals, the entire spectrum of lowbrow entertainment. At the time he hit his stride as a novelist in the late 60s and early 70s, a nostalgia craze was sweeping the USA, and most, if not all, readers understood Goulart's comical references to early 20th century popular media. Later in his career, Goulart wrote a series of novels in which Groucho Marx is a detective. Goulart's novels are often filled with the sort of humor and move at the frantic pace of the best of the Marx Brothers movies. One could say Goulart's fiction is an acquired taste. His work is very polarizing. You either hate his books or you love them. There's little in between. I've only met one other reader who openly admits to an appreciation of Goulart, even though his books were published with amazing frequency for decades. Back in 1976, when I mentioned to another science fiction fan that I liked the stuff, he stared at me incredulously and asked, "You like Goulart?" The main character in Flux is Ben Jolson, a shape-shifting spy who works for an outfit called the Chameleon Corps. Jolson can pretty much instantly take on the appearance of any other being, or even a household appliance, at will. In case you didn't get the reference, Jolson is named for Al Jolson, a Jewish singer from the early 20th century who made a lot of money impersonating black minstrel show performers. Jolson was the star of the first American movie with sound. Goulart borrowed from the headlines of his day. For years, students protested the Vietnam War and civil rights abuses. The students in Goulart's novel are not just protesting. They have become walking bombs and are gleefully sacrificing themselves in order to blow up political targets. Ben Jolson, chameleon operative, is dispatched to investigate the matter. With a main character who can morph into any form and students who are blowing people to smithereens, one might imagine high-stakes intrigue, suspense, and tense drama. One would be wrong. The novel is a kaleidoscopic tour through fantastic scenarios populated by whimsical characters rattling off reams of zany dialogue. By turns, Jolson transforms into a town marshal who speaks like a Gary Cooper character from an early Western, a folk singer clearly patterned after Woody Guthrie named Tunky Nesper, a sadist pretending to be Jack the Ripper as part of his prescribed therapy, an effete military man obsessed with wearing the perfect cologne, and even a piece of office furniture. To describe the plot would be a waste of time. Nothing to see here, folks. The plot is all MacGuffin, a flimsy excuse for Goulart's crazy humor. The book exists only to air outlandish comments, exercise comic wordplay, and throw a few sly jabs at authority figures and social trends. The formula for most of Goulart's novels is this. In the first chapter, set up a loose goal for the protagonist. In the remaining 23 or so chapters, have the main character bounce from one absurd episode to the next in a manner resembling the Three Stooges. A young reader picking up a Goulart novel today may not understand all the movie, comic book, and historical references. if you don't understand his in-jokes, the stories become nothing more than absurd fantasy. But of course, that worked for Lewis Carroll, didn't it? Ron Goulart published over 180 books under at least 10 pen names. After his death, his wife said he had been driven by the desire to publish as many books as Isaac Asimov. Asimov published about 500 books, so he didn't even come close to his goal. Still, he left an impressive body of work. In spite of, or perhaps because of, anything I've said in this review, I recommend Flux by Ron Goulart.